Good morning, traders. Happy Monday. Welcome back to my favorite 30 minutes of the week. You are here at the Trader Bacon Show. Sorry, almost goofed on that one. I am your host, Gates Adams. Always love to start my weeks this way. We've got a lot of stuff going on in the markets, in the world, and in the world of the Forex Trader as well. So I'm going to be sharing some cool insights with you guys. A lot of exciting things going on. So first and foremost, we will be giving away free evaluations as we usually do from Apex Trader Funding. So make sure to fill out that form. That will be in the chat here in just a moment. And you will have a shot at winning one of those. And congratulations to last week's winners. We have Mike, Shawson, and Adam. Congratulations to you guys. Hopefully I pronounced all of that correctly as usual. But congratulations on getting those and building that arsenal. Right now is a great time if it is time for you to build your arsenal. If you're looking for your very first evaluation or you just need to add to it, Apex Trader Funding 80% off right now. Make sure to take full advantage of that. ApexTraderFunding.com. Use promo code Benzinga. That will always give you the best pricing available. So take full advantage of that as well. Couple of things going on in the world of the Forex Trader. I did not do a podcast episode last week. My schedule has been a little bit nuts because I've actually been doing some live recaps of my day-to-day trading, and that's sort of taken the time that I normally commit to the podcast episodes. I'm trying to find that balance between the two. But if you haven't had a chance to check any of that out, find me on social media at The Forged Trader. You can pretty much catch me anywhere. You can also go to theforgedtrader.com and you can see links to all of my social. You can get updates by going to theforgedtrader.com/join. And you'll get updates on everything as well via email. Of course, I'll never abuse that information. So check that out as well. So let's talk about the world of trading. We've got some interesting things going on right now. Obviously, tensions in Israel and Iran. Ironically, this was not planned in any way, shape, or form. This was booked about 6 weeks ago. But my guest today is actually in Israel. And so hopefully we don't have any loud noises or anything in the background that we shouldn't hear. But the fact is that all of that going on, prayers to everybody out there. This is not necessarily a conversation about that. However, for sure, we need to talk about what's going on in the market. Obviously, when the first attack took place, we had a major dip in the market. And of course, we've started to see nothing but rallies coming out of it. What does that mean for traders? Well, we're going to talk a little bit about that. As well as dive into some strategy and some excitement going on in the world of trading. So let's welcome today Dima on today's episode of the Trader Bacon Show. Welcome to the Trader Bacon Show, where we showcase everyday traders that are getting funded, paid, and bringing home the bacon. Are you ready? Because the Trader Bacon Show starts right now. Dima, good morning, man.
Hey, Gates. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for being here. I got to say, I appreciate not just you being here, but the level of commitment to be here amidst everything that's going on. We're not going to get into all that conversation. We'll talk about how it affects trading, but thanks a million for being here. I appreciate that. So what's going on, man? How's everything going aside from all of that?
Yeah, everything's fine. The market actually was pretty good this morning, unlike last week. Or the previous weeks before it, because we're just churning, but today was pretty easy. Yeah.
Well, we've seen a whole lot of chop the last couple of weeks, and then of course when you see one thing happen that starts to move the markets, all of a sudden it starts, sort of you have this volatility injection that is just beyond anything that we've seen over the last few weeks. So how has this affected what you're doing, man? Have you been able to take advantage of this, or is this just sort of kind of watch and wait for you?
Absolutely has no effect on me whatsoever. Instead, just like the usual chopping stuff, I guess it's bad for every trader because we really like volatility and like clear direction. But anything else is like normal.
Right. I gotcha. So let's go back to the beginning, man. How long have you actually been trading at this point?
I think I'll start I started 5 years ago. During the pandemic. I think like a lot of new traders came into the market.
COVID baby, they call them.
I actually started with crypto. Also, like a lot of people, my friend introduced me to the Bitcoin and then said, like, what is this stuff? I don't like it, but I'll just buy some. And I bought the top, obviously, at 67 K, by the way. And I was like, yeah, I'm going to be rich now, and like, and I kind of it kind of did fast from there,
Right.
and then I found future trading there on the Binance application, and I lost tons of money because I was like pretty much gambling on it.
Right.
I thought it's gonna be easy and I'll become rich really quick. I like the videos on the internet like everyone else. Yeah. So
they,
after
they
that,
they
yeah,
paint such
sorry.
a nice picture for sure, but you gotta fight into reality. So
Yeah, and then a friend introduced me to some technical analysis, and every boomer I've ever talked to for investments, and he said this is like total garbage. It's not real. It's nothing. Just invest long term.
Mhm.
And he sent me some a kind of PDF file with 100 pages, like for basic technical analysis, and I read it. I said, okay, let me try it. And then I started seeing those things that I saw in the PDF, and I was like, okay, this might work. Okay, I don't know if it works, but sometimes it worked, and I saw the patterns, and I started seeing the candle structure and
Mhm.
everything. So I gambled on them, of course, as like
Right.
almost every new trader, and I lost a lot of money again. And but I didn't give up on technical analysis because
Mhm.
I thought it really worked some of the times.
Sure.
Uh, so I've become a bit addicted to gambling. I think I admitted it to my wife also. She told me to stop trading, and I did for a couple of months. And
Right.
then I watched a live show on YouTube where they were trading, by the way,
Mhm.
and they had some special promo code. It was like 3 years ago
Sure.
for a certain prop firm
Mhm.
with like a discount, and I said, okay, let me try. So I did. I failed a couple of the first evils, and then I passed the like on the third, on fourth.
Mhm.
Again, I think it was a coincidence because I really didn't know what I was doing like by the time. Yeah.
Right.
So I immediately like like a day after I blew the account immediately again.
Mhm.
Yeah. And I tried again, and I finally got paid on the first
Right.
day. And I thought, okay, this might be nice. And then the
Mhm.
bank called and asked me questions where the money's from and everything. But okay, I sorted it out. Uh, and then I started this journey and started searching for indicators or something that will help me with my trading because like by this time I was kind of guessing and using like trend lines and the basic stuff, which is fine by the way when I look at it like in hindsight.
Sure.
But I didn't know how to implement them correctly, and I was guessing most of the time. Uh, so and then I was introduced to Apex and everything, and I think I blew a couple of more than I want to admit I did. But I think when everything clicked for me, like at last, it was when they implemented the new rules
Mhm.
with the windfall and the adding on the losing position, which
Sure.
I was doing constantly, by the way.
Right.
It was my downfall for like 90%
Mhm.
of the time. I knew it because I knew I was doing it, but I just couldn't help myself because like I
Right.
would have 30 straight winning days. Everything's fine. Everything's fun. I was doing those DCA strategies. Where,
Right.
yeah, I was like down 1,000 and up like 100, and I would close the position and fine. I'm fine for the day. After like being stressed out, and when they finally implemented those rules, I mean, they were always there, but they started like being strict on them. I
Sure.
said, okay, I need to change a bit because even if I win, I won't get paid. So
Right. Right. Well, and that does sort of become a limiting factor. It's like, okay, I can break my own rules, but if I know if I do this, I'm not getting paid, then what's the point, right? We
yeah,
we can justify so many things in our mind. I was actually talking to a buddy of mine this morning, where we have this tendency to justify what we want to do, and that in my opinion, if we have to justify it, it's the wrong decision, right? But when we leave that gap open for that, that's where we tend to find some of those difficulties. So, what finally changed for you? What brought you into the consistency point where you now have a, a level of success that's got you on the show for starters, right? So what happened?
after searching for like a lot of indicators, I will show it later when I'll show my screen. I've went through like hundred of indicators and even bought some paid indicators and for yeah, and I was thinking like they don't work all the time, and like,
Right.
but they promised they would. I heard it on YouTube that should work. Like I should
Heard
be
it on
profitable.
YouTube. Best line
Yeah,
ever.
yeah. So and they weren't working the way I wanted it to work, and I
Mhm,
would wait like for a position for like 15 minutes or like
mhm.
1 hour, 4 hours on the worst cases, and like okay. And when I finally got the position, I would lose the position. Okay, after one trade, this strategy doesn't work at all. I don't
Right.
like it. It doesn't work. I waited 4 hours, six one day. I don't know how much. I
Mhm.
lost the trade. It doesn't work no matter what.
Right.
So I think there were a lot of concepts where, like the book "Best Loser Wins," by the way.
Mhm. Yeah. That's
Yeah.
on my
So
list. By the way, I haven't read it yet. It's definitely on the list.
yeah. So basically, once I uh, convinced myself that losing it, you have to lose. It's part of the game.
Right.
Like it's probability. I'm an engineer. I study statistics. I
Yeah.
should know about statistics
Right.
and how they work. And like even if my strategy has 95% win rate, I could still lose 10 times in a row.
Yeah.
It's highly unlikely, but it can happen because
Exactly.
that's how statistic works.
Mhm,
So when I finally took that out of the way, so when I accepted my losses, it started being a little bit better.
mhm.
But I would still blow accounts on the account that I was trading mini contracts and
Mhm.
not micro contracts.
Right.
And the final stage of this was switching to micro contracts, and the trades become way less stressful because
Right.
seeing like a 10-point move, which is $200 on the Nasdaq on the
Right.
NQ, instead of seeing $20, which is nothing.
Yeah.
But when you finally scale up to like 5 or 10 or 20 counts, those $10 becomes massive, and
Mhm.
we don't see it that way because we're used to like saying, "Oh, that's $10, it's nothing."
Right.
But it's $10 more than I had yesterday, so it's already a win.
Right.
No one went broke taking profit. That's what I also say. Yeah.
That's absolutely, and of course taxes. Yeah, losing is the tuition cost and the donation to the mighty pyramid of traders. Yeah, I would love to be on that pyramid of recipients. You get a few payouts. It's pretty good, but when you start to see that, you want to be in that pile, right, on top of that list.
Yeah.
So okay, so sizing and risk management and really just understanding the concept of stats, which obviously you understood, just applying that to the world of trading. So now your expectations are in a reasonable place. Did you have to now find a new strategy, or did you take this and apply it to what you had already been developing as a strategy?
I found a strategy that was I was looking for something very simple because like everyone already like all the retail traders know ICT, I guess,
Yeah.
and ICT strategy is like really complex and like it's very how you say it very personal take on the market
Right.
because not everyone sees what everyone sees. Everyone has like some different like what's a market structure shift. Like
Sure.
I see a lot of videos on YouTube when they say there's a market structure shift. They're actually wrong. Well, like when I see it.
Right.
So I took some concepts of ICT. I'll give him the credit, and I implemented them in a really simple strategy also,
Right.
uh, which like contains 2 lines. Like it's some kind of support resistance strategy. We'll talk about later. But my chart is clean. No
Right.
lines, no EMAs, no VWAP, no RSIs, MACD, nothing. I
Right.
used to trade with like
All
MACD, RSI on, and moving average like crossovers
sure.
and like with patterns and everything. Now I don't pay
Yeah.
attention to this at all
I
whatsoever.
need 17 confluences to take a trade. You're never taking a trade, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Well, let's do this. Let's go ahead and take a look at it. We've kind of built this up a little bit. So let's talk about the simplicity of what you've developed out of what you learned in ICT and put into work for yourself. So let's pull this up and show us what it is that you're looking for when you're looking to enter a trade.
Yeah. So before I start like talking about my strategy, I have like basic rules which I have to follow because I like back tested it and I built a bot and we saw the statistics and like I know
Engineer.
Fridays I don't trade at all,
Right.
no matter
Okay.
what. Fridays, FOMC days I don't trade. Like it's on Wednesdays usually. Even before it happens, I don't trade.
Right.
The trading strategy applies from 9:45 a.m. till
Mhm.
11 p.m. till 12 max, because after that, like, the volume falls off, and like there's no real trading, and I don't like it, and the statistics also show a worsened case. So that's that. So there's a time-based strategy also, and the strategy is actually really simple. It's called opening range breakout. Maybe you've heard about it.
I have.
Yeah,
Orb,
it's
as we
actually
call
very
it.
simple. Very simple.
Mhm.
You just wait the first 15 minutes of the day, and you mark, or you have indicator that marks it, the high and the low of those 15 minutes. That's it.
Yeah.
So the basic rule we have to follow is, when it breaks down, we enter a short. When it breaks up, we just enter a long. That's it. Okay, this is like the first rule of the trade. So this alone, okay, this alone would give you a chance of like 52% over time to win,
Okay.
with a 1 to 1.5 risk reward, right?
I'm going to trust your stats, engineer.
Yeah, I check them. Okay, it's like I checked like over 3 years of
Sure.
trades. It's like also a lot, like 1,000 trades. I think it's like we got to a normal statistics
Right.
about that. So I thought to myself, okay, 50% of the time, it's a bit hard mentally,
Right.
because like if you're losing half of the time, you get a bit frustrated sometimes.
Sure.
So I tried to find the ways how to increase the chances of winning with this strategy, and maybe some confluence, and
Mhm.
that's where some of them ICT comes in. Sometimes a candle structure just comes in.
Right.
A very nice trade I took this morning. Like most of my friends, we have a Discord group. So basically, I would like to see inside of this range, where the opening range breakout, with
Mhm.
the opening range, I don't trade. I don't care what happens in between those lines at all.
Right.
It might just be choppy around here, and I don't care about it at all.
Mhm.
And once it breaks out, okay, I have to check a couple of things. First, we have volume. Okay,
Mhm.
if there's a big volume, it's okay. I like it, because there's buyers coming in. It's a good sign.
Sure.
Second rule is, the candle has to engulf the previous candle.
Okay.
So
What time frame are you on? 5 minute?
5 minutes, yeah, 5 minutes. So if the candle engulfs the previous candle, and it breaks out with this candle, it's an entry for me. Like, no matter what, it's like the best setup I can. It has like over time like 65 to 70% win
Okay.
rate. So that's
Nice.
like majorly a lot, because you only need 40% to win with a strategy that has like 1 to 1.5 risk reward.
Yep.
So what I usually do, I enter on this breakout candle,
Mhm.
stop loss below the breakout candle, or
Uh-huh. Yeah.
if it's a short, it's above the candle, of course, and just a simple 1 and 1.5 risk reward, and that's it. This trade took like 15 minutes,
Yeah.
nothing. Yeah, and I'm done. By the way, I'm done. Like nothing else interests me here. It can go up all day. I don't care. I just like to end it quick and be on with my day.
So I love the simplicity. I love the mechanics of it. So this presumes that you're probably not going to get a trade every day, because some days it's just not going to break out with that structure. You're going to just jump right back into it, which in theory means it's probably going to be a fairly choppy day. So probably not a day you want to be in anyway, right?
Yeah.
So how often
Actually, it happens almost every day. Yeah.
does it?
Yeah. We can go like I don't know. Let's go for a replay real quick. Sometimes it doesn't happen. It's okay. I don't
Yeah.
have the setup, and that's fine. Let's go to like uh, November, I guess.
Okay.
Let's start from here. So, mm, all right, hold on. Okay, December's fine. I don't care. So basically, I look for. We said I also implement ICT. We'll see it
Mhm.
soon. If the breaking candle breaks out with the gap, with the what we call fair value gap, if you know what it means.
Yep.
So the fair value gap will be also my entrance. Here we didn't have a fair value gap, but we had a breakout, but I won't enter on it because there was no engulfing. So I'm not interested in the trade.
Right.
As you can see, this was like a false breakout
Right.
at the end. So here is the opposite thing. We
Hmm.
did have a major breakdown here with a big volume. So by some rules, I would enter a short here because the volume is big.
Hmm.
Maybe it was caused by some news, because the time here is not like regular news time, maybe something like breaking.
Sure.
But it did create here a fair value gap. So what I will do next is the fair value gap has to be created by around 9:45 to 11 p.m. Otherwise, I don't care about it also.
Right.
Hence the red background here.
That's your window. Sure.
Yeah. So I wait for the retracement to the gap.
Okay.
If this happens, I don't know if it happens. I guess not.
Well, certainly not during your window.
Yeah. No, I can take the trade later.
Oh,
But
gotcha. Okay.
the
So
fair value gap has to be
you
here
need the
on the
gap to form within your window, and then you can take a trade after. Okay, gotcha.
exactly.
Okay.
And there's a third setup, which is a confirmation of the breakout.
Right.
So here we saw a breakout. I wouldn't enter yet, but here we entered inside the range and confirmed the breakout.
Right.
So here I would enter. I would enter, and the stop loss would be below this breakout, the first
Right.
breakout candle, and like I said, risk to reward
1.5.
1 to 1.5. So this one was a losing trade,
Yep.
but here we have the second setup, which I talked about, which is the engulfing setup.
Sure.
So here I would enter a short. Fine, if the long didn't work, I'll go for the short thing. And here's again 1 to 1.5. And let's see, maybe I'll embarrass myself, but no,
Oh,
it
there you
worked.
go.
It worked. So this is pretty basic.
Yeah.
I don't watch the charts much of the time, and like there's like because the engulfing thing, as you said, wasn't
Sure.
happening every day. I should have I didn't want my hands itching for a trade that I
Right.
wouldn't want to take, so I searched for a couple of more entry points so I could trade most of the days. But it's okay. No trade is a trade, also. So
Sure, for sure. Now,
uh,
it's as you've developed this, again, I love the simplicity. Traders so often are looking for just that super mechanical entry. Do you do any trade management with it at all? In other words, if it starts chopping and you're in profit, you're just going to leave it. You're just going to let the stop and targets do what they do.
usually not.
Yeah,
There are anomalies, of course, but
sure.
usually I usually trade like 3 micro contracts, two
Hmm.
to three micro contracts. I might add to the position if I have two different setups,
Hmm.
which show the same thing. Like if we had the engulfing here, as you see here, and then it created a gap also. So if it would go to the gap, I would enter another short, and I
I
would
got you. Okay.
scale up. And once I reach the target, I would take like 75% of the contracts, and I might have left some to run, but like most of the time, no,
All right.
I wouldn't. I wouldn't.
Just just let it do what it does. Okay. Well, I
Yeah.
mean, it's very trackable. That's very stats friendly. And again, I mean, if you're getting in that, you said about what is did you say your win rate was?
Uh, I'm like currently standing like on flat 66% win rate.
Okay. So about two-thirds. Nice. Okay.
Yeah.
With a 1.5, that's a very profitable long-term
Yeah.
strategy.
Yeah.
So as you've developed this, as you've developed this level of consistency, and at this point you're starting to see those payouts coming in. What's changed for you? What does your life look like now as a consistent trader that's different from what you were looking at before you really started to see this?
I'm actually a regular working class person, the middle class man, as you said. Uh, I started getting figures that like are a bit life changing, and like I started getting my own accountant,
Mhm.
so he'll pay the taxes and everything because the taxation is huge with these numbers. And I'm kind of thinking like quitting,
Yeah.
maybe quitting, and maybe becoming a full-time trader. But
Okay.
because this space, the trading space, is so risky and it's so hard, and we know the statistics are against us, most of the traders, and like only 5% like succeed in this space. So I still find it a bit risky because
Sure.
I think trading is all about risk management at the end of the
Of
day, and
course.
like every aspect of life also I implement there. Um, so I think I won't quit until I have my own uh, safety net, like not
Yep.
on the account, but until I know I have enough to live like 2 3 years with my own business, or like open some mentorships, of course, like everyone else. I don't know about it yet, but I would love to be a full-time trader. This is like the best job ever. It's the most uh, paid job ever, but also one of the most risky jobs ever. But I love it. I love it. I'm addicted to it. I once I wake up, I always open the charts. even though I won't trade them, but I just want to see what happened during the night because like there's news when I sleep in here, and like every time I recently when I wake up, I see the market goes like 300 points up, 30 points down. Everything's wild during the Asia session, so
Sure.
like market changed
Well,
over the years.
and you talk about taking that next step, and I think that you've got a wise mindset. I know that when we talk about transitioning from sim to in the old days cash, or this came sim to evaluation, then evaluation into PA into live trading into self-funded trading or whatever. Each one has a mindset shift that has to happen. And during that transition period, a lot of times we start to maybe waffle on our decisions a little bit. We have more at stake, and therefore sometimes that can affect the decision making. So when you say, "Listen, I'm going to wait till I have a couple of years worth of my bills covered in the bank and ready to go," I've got my financial people in place that are going to make sure that I'm handling all the legal side of things, so that I can really just focus on the trading. That's small steps. I'm going to do this now. I'm going to do this now. All of these things are preparing me to be a full-time trader. Is that sort of the mindset that you've got as far as building that system?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I won't feel safe until I have this safety net and I will have my own account trading because I still like the thing that prop firms allow me to not trade my money, and there's
Right.
like smaller risk for me. But once the whole account becomes mine and I blow it, it's something else.
Sure. I mean, again, there's a big mindset shift that has to happen when you know that that's all at risk. At the end of the day, yeah, you might lose some accumulated profits if you blow an account, but you've blown a couple $100 maybe, right?
Yeah,
At the end
yeah,
of the day, where that's obviously not the case if you fund an account with 10, 15, $20,000. I mean, that is all at risk depending on how you manage it and how you manage yourself. So I think that's a great way of doing it, little by little, and continuing to build one step at a time. So what's next for you? I mean, at this point, like, what are you looking at? I mean, do you have any specific trading plans in the relatively near future before we get to that long term?
I think I'll keep doing my thing, and
Yeah.
because it just works. I don't care for any. I won't start looking for new ways to trade
Mhm.
unless the market, like the market changed since the pandemic because
Sure. Sure.
we never had this kind of volatility like
Mhm.
we had the past 3-4 years.
Right.
When I back tested, I saw like the market goes 30 points, 40 points, and it was rare. Today
Right.
it can happen in like in 1 minute, and
And one
that's
minute
why
candle. Boom.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's why trading the mini contracts is
It's
really hard these days because it can blow the account like in 1 minute and you won't be able to stop it.
right.
So you can compound all your wins with micros and everything's fine, and you should take it slow. It's not a marathon. You have all the time in the world. Once you of course you finish your evaluation, so you're not time based, like you have all the time in the world. Nothing, no one
Mhm.
rushes you. Take all the
Exactly.
time you need.
Mhm.
Build your accounts, compound your wins, and build more accounts. Apex allowed 20 accounts, so basically that's the next step.
Yeah.
Once you have 20 accounts, it's mind changing because you can lower the risk, but
Mhm.
you can earn way more. And like because people want like on the one account to win $3,000, but when you have 20 accounts, it's only like $100 per
There you
account,
go.
and it's like
Yeah.
it's kind of, I won't say it's easy, but it's kind of easy to get 100 points on an account with minimal risk.
Yeah.
Because
It's
so
definitely psychologically easier. You don't have that, like, you don't see that big number like in that P&L. You're just seeing, oh, I'm down $60. Well, that's okay. I can take another trade without losing my mindset, right? Was kind of really where I was this morning.
yeah,
I ended up, a small win day, which was about $140, but across 20 accounts, that was about $2,800. I cannot complain about that. That's
yeah,
that's super super inspiring to be able to just look at that and go, all right, I had a very small update compared to what my normal update is, and that's the result.
yeah.
And that's the power of 20 right there. So man,
I think I think
man, go
leaving
ahead.
money on the table is completely fine.
Right,
As a day traders, we have opportunities every day, almost every day, and we're not like investors where we have like one in a lifetime opportunity or like once in a decade or once in a year opportunity.
for sure.
Every day there are like different markets. I only trade exclusively the NQ, by the way. I don't
Yeah.
trade anything else. I'm familiar with the market. I'm familiar with the price section. I'm looking for the 10 for the like the big 10 stocks in the market to establish a bias of some sort. But most of it, I know the market. I know how many points it moves during the day usually, if it's not nothing out of the usual. And I'm kind of comfortable in my own trading space here on the NQ. And I think it's great here.
That's awesome, man. Raven, to answer your question, 20 accounts at a time. I trade on Wealth Charts, which has a built-in trade copier. I've also traded through Ninja Trader on Trade Evade accounts, which you have the Apex trade copier, which can function in the background, or you can trade directly on the Trade Evade app, which allows you to group accounts and you can trade 20 at a time. So there's a variety of different ways. I would talk to somebody who's got maybe some more experience in this that can, help guide you on it. But there's a few different routes to getting to that. Dima, dude, what a phenomenal opportunity to have some conversation with you. I love the way that you're doing things. Slow and steady wins the race. Slow and steady has turned into, as you mentioned, some life-changing opportunities. I can't wait to see how this continues to grow and develop for you. And thank you so much for taking some time and sharing it with us today, especially with everything going on. If nothing else, just having stuff in the back of your head. I definitely appreciate you showing up, man. This was fantastic.
No problem. I was excited. You had me here. I'm fine with it.
Dude, I loved it, man. We'll have to get you back on at some point. It's cool. So all of that said, again, just some final reminders. Make sure to go check out apextraderfunding.com. Use promo code Benzinga to get 80% off any evaluation right now. Some special discounts on some of the bigger accounts. So if you like trading those big boys, they've got some extra discounts on those as well. Check out theforgetrader.com. If you want some updates, theforgetrader.com/join. Be sure to follow me on social media. They're all at The Forged Trader, except for TikTok. They don't let me use the word trader, so I swapped the E for a 3. Gotta love TikTok, right? Other than that, we're going to have a phenomenal show for you back again next week, so make sure you don't miss it. Much love to all of you. I appreciate all of you guys joining in and supporting the show as well. I'm Gates Adams, and we'll see you next week on the Trader Bacon Show. Almost did it again. We'll see you guys next week. Thanks for joining the Trader Bacon Show, where we showcase everyday traders that are getting funded, paid, and bringing home the bacon. Make sure to join us next time, Mondays at 11 a.m. Eastern.